What is Trump and the White House actually doing with our prices? We had another massive pump and dump this week when first there was a rumor that there will be no tariffs, and then shortly after insanely high tariffs were announced and the traditional market crashed, as well as Bitcoin, the S&P 500, even to new lows. And we are right now at a crucial point for this Friday. Today we'll be deciding if we can actually see some sort of recovery till the end of this week, or if we are actually going to continue our downwards momentum even within the next week. As I told you already in my last video, that we will need to expect some more downside to come within this week. And yes, right now we are definitely at lower prices than we ended the last week in, as our USDT dominance also closed above the 5.45% level. But now let's not talk too much. Let's just jump right into the charts. Let's immediately talk about what to expect next now, because as you guys know, with the tariffs that got announced that are a little bit out of place, many people didn't fully understand how the trading deficit of countries would be used actually to define how high tariffs should be, as it's pretty much common sense that a very rich country where people on average have a lot of wealth will probably import more things from smaller, poorer countries than the people in a poor country will be able to afford to import from a very rich country like the US. So these tariffs, I think we have never seen something like this since 1930s or something like this, where the tariffs have been so high. And sadly, this is also why the market is so unstable right now. This is also why the traditional market is falling lower, and this is also why Bitcoin is not able to recover so fast. So we need to hope that things will stabilize a little bit in the traditional markets first before we can even expect Bitcoin to start properly reversing and continuing this current bull run that has not been invalidated yet. As always, as I said, guys, smash up a like, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell. Thank you very much for almost 2,000 likes below the last video. Once again, maybe we can reach 2,000 likes on today's video. That would be absolutely amazing. But now let's see if we can have anything to keep an eye on for the upcoming 24 hours and especially for our weekend. Because to be honest, guys, we need to see that at least the traditional markets stabilize now before the end of this trading week for the stock market. I want to see that the S&P 500 can at least climb up a little bit, hold these old two low points here as support. This is definitely what I want to see. I don't want to see that we are breaking these to the downside today before the weekend, because we can then definitely prepare that Bitcoin will continue this momentum that the stock market goes into the weekend with, into the week close. And we need to expect Bitcoin to then again continue to correct to the downside during the weekend, especially like we have seen it in the last weekend as well, where we predicted it exactly, that if Friday is not bullish, we will see a bearish weekend for Bitcoin. Exactly this happened. Exactly the same is the case right now. So I want to see that the traditional markets are stabilizing. By the way, guys, I think you all remember that I was in a short position that I opened when we broke down here off our ascending triangle and we confirmed the rejection from the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level to the downside. I fully closed out this short position. I took in total around $35,000 in profit. I had a small long position actually that I opened over here. It would have been an amazing, strong, big long position, but sadly it got stopped out before the price then actually skyrocketed to the upside. So I lost $4,000 there. In total, still a $31,000 profit. And I will keep you up to date now, especially over the weekend, what my next trading setup will be, because I can already tell you we need to prepare to take immediate action, especially if any kind of news comes out about the tariffs, that they will be, for example, reduced, or that they will not come in effect, for example, for all countries, but only, for example, step by step or in a different way. This could be news that immediately gives the market some strength again. And in this time, I definitely want to be exposed for a long position, because, to be honest, in general, Bitcoin is still looking good as long as we are not breaking below the $75,000 level. So what I want to see today is a strong Friday for the stock market, or at least no further correction. As I said, we don't want to fall below the 5,400 pretty much for the S&P 500. If we are taking out these lows over here, I can already tell you Bitcoin will also take out the lows that we are forming here at approximately $81,500. And if these $81,500 are broken to the downside, I might even open another short position, because I definitely expect that we will reach our lows of $75,000, $76,000 then once again, and we will retest our long-term support like we also did quite recently on the weekly time frame. Let me switch here. I accidentally clicked the 2 weeks, and we need to go to logarithmic. There we go. As you can see, it is very realistic then within the next week that we will retest the $76,000 level again if this weekly candle does not close, if this weekly candle closes below the $81,000 level. So the only chance we pretty much have to not see the $76,000 again is at least a consolidation or a bullish pump on the S&P 500 today. So keep an eye on that, because if the S&P cannot go at least neutral into this weekend, into a weekly close for the traditional markets, Bitcoin will adapt this momentum over the weekend. We can be very sure about this. It has been happening for the last weeks again and again and again. Last weekend, we also predicted that Bitcoin will continue to go down, because we ended the week bearish for on Friday, right? And we didn't see the strength that we wanted to see on Friday. And the same is absolutely valid for today. So let's see how this develops. You know exactly what to keep an eye on now. I know it is not an exact trade setup that I currently have for you, but we need to keep in mind that a lot of the movements that we are seeing in the markets currently are completely news-based. I'm not a news trader, and I need to know that when the market is extremely dependent on positive news to actually go up, I don't want to be exposed in any risky positions that immediately could get wiped out as soon as a single news from the White House or a weird formulated sentence from Trump about tariffs or other things come out and the market immediately reacts. So I need the market to start distancing itself a little bit. This would show strength, that people are not all too worried about what comes out of the White House looking at tariffs and the economics, but the market stabilizes because it found its fair value again. This will be the time where we can really start not news-based, chart-based trading again. And for the moment, we just need to be aware that, we need to take a look at the traditional markets. It is just how it is. I would love to only talk about Bitcoin, only trade Bitcoin right now, but this is just not the market we are in currently. That's just how it is, and as a good trader you need to adapt, otherwise you will not have a nice and green P&L history. But now guys, this is already it. Smash up a like, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell. I will give you a more detailed update on the charts and also the smaller time frames during this weekend, most likely, depending on how the Friday now develops in the S&P 500 and traditional markets in general. But guys, we're going to see us. Maybe we can reach 2,000 likes. I would highly appreciate it. See you guys soon. Bye bye.